Welcome to USMNT updates, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the group stage of the Gold Cup that we just saw over the last couple of weeks. And really, in my mind, it was an unimpressive group stage from the United States. I think they could have done a lot better. I think when they played against Haiti in the first game that we really struggled. And that might have just been trying to get some continuity with some new guys playing together and everything like that. So you give the benefit of the doubt. They got the win. That's the most important thing about the group stage is we came out in first place. I guess you could say Mexico came out in first place too. So we would not see Mexico until the final if that happens. And so that's probably the best thing that we could have seen happen out of that. And we did get all three wins. Even though we didn't play good, we got all three wins. So we beat Haiti 1-0. And that really wasn't that impressive to see. Really was disappointed with the lineup that we had for that game. Then when we played Martinique in the second game, I thought that was better. The lineup I thought was good. Of course, we played Martinique, beat them 6-1. That was expected. If we would have only beaten them 3-1, 3-0, would have been disappointing. But when we got them 6-1, that's always a good thing to see. And got some players. Number one, playing time, and got some players be able to play for the national team. And then, of course, got some players to be able to get on the scoreboard, score goals, get assists, whatever you want to call it there. The third game against Canada, man, they came out really good. Of course, we know they scored the record goal for the United States. Shaq Moore was able to score that goal on a nice pass from Leggett. And I thought it was just that started out good. The first 25, 30 minutes were really good. Really looked like, hey, that team that was out there was playing well together, was producing, was attacking, had Canada on the heels, and then all of a sudden it just kind of switched. And from that point on, we just played defensively. No matter what we did, we played defensively. But if we could play in the knockout round like we played the 30 minutes against Canada, I think we're in good shape. Problem is, if we play the knockout rounds like we played the last 60 minutes against Canada, we'll probably be knocked out right away in the quarterfinals. So I'm really happy with how the team got the 9 points that they needed. They got first place in the group. They moved on to the quarterfinals, and we'll be facing a Jamaica team going into the first quarterfinal now. Very happy about that. Happy that some people got playing time. I think we saw maybe some people shouldn't be on the field. And I really think that through the group stage we saw that Busio at least looks like possibly could have, in Berhalter's mind, gone on top of Jackson Ewell, so maybe we won't see as much of Jackson Ewell anymore going farther in the future. Even though Busio won't be a starter when we have our top team playing as of now, hopefully he gets the bid over Jackson Ewell, anything going forward from here. Saw a couple of variations in formation. I think when you play the 2 forward, 2 striker system, I think what we see is DK and Zardes. They don't work well together. In my book, watching them play, it's just not a good tandem. I think when we saw DK in there and we saw Hoppy playing a little bit underneath him, not up front, like Zardes and DK were both trying to play. It was Hoppy underneath him, maybe switching sides, even playing a little bit of central, but being like a withdrawn 9 along with DK up there forward. I think that was a lot better play. And so I'd like to see that more than the 2 striker system where both of them are up front. Worked good for the first goal, the only goal in the Canada game, because when they both moved, the defenders moved with them and then, of course, left the back post wide open. But I just didn't think that there was any fluidity in the attack with the 2 striker system. So I don't like that. I think we've seen over the years, I know a lot of people don't like the 1 striker system, but I think we see that it works depending on the players that you have, and there's no reason to have a 2 striker system unless you have Hoppe kind of withdrawn, which in my book then he's not a forward. At that point then he becomes maybe an attacking midfielder, another attacking midfielder, or maybe the lone attacking midfielder. depending on how we play. So I saw some good things. I think Hoppy needs to be on the field more often. And I think DK needs to be there over top of Zardis. Busio definitely over top of Jackson Ewell. I think Roldan, he's done. I mean, I don't see him need to be on the field. I get it if you go with the winger system, but right now I think he's past his prime. Good to see some of the, not past his prime, but past his time, I guess you could say, on the men's national roster. Some of the center backs we saw, I really like seeing Robinson. Miles Robinson really impressed me in these games. Sands impressed me there too, and him being able to play multiple positions is a good thing. I like that. Was not impressed by the little bit of time that we saw from Bello. I wanted to see him play on the team. Didn't impress me when he was out there. In fact, I do see Vines over top of Bello at that position. Now, does that mean he's the best? No, he's not the best there. Realistically speaking, if either Shaq Moore or Cannon can play the left back spot, I would give them a run for that position, at least through this Gold Cup. Let them play it there and see what we can have at the left back position. I think that would make us stronger if either of them can play the left back spot there. So happy we got the 9 points. Happy we saw guys on the field. I think we get a feel for how everybody can play. And now we're going to move on to the quarterfinals, or to the knockout round of the Gold Cup 2021. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the knockout rounds of the Gold Cup. And before we do that, we're going to talk about the additional players to the United States camp. When we see what's happening here, Walker Zimmerman's out. He's not in the camp anymore. He left because of his injury. That happened in the game against Canada. The United States have called 2 players in, so they've called in Henry Kessler, a center back from the New England Revolution, and Cade Cowell, a forward from the San Jose Earthquakes. And I'm trying to figure out which way to go, really, which way I think I would go with this. We're very limited in center backs right now, with Zimmerman being hurt, so of course you think, okay, Henry Kessler comes in for depth in the center back spot. And especially if you're going to play a 3-back, you're going to need that, because we only have 3 right now. With Pines, Robinson, and Sands, we only have 3 center backs. Then you'd have to bring in Kessler to be a 4th center back. Of course, you would need that substitute then. I don't necessarily think it's going to be that valuable to bring in Kessler, because we're already inexperienced. Having the inexperience there, really the guys that we have, this was their first time they got capped with the USMNT. Of course, Miles Robinson got capped a couple years ago, his first cap, but this is really the first crucial tournament, any kind of game they've played with the USMNT. And so if I'm going to have an inexperience come in, I'd rather the inexperience go up front more than in the back. However, because we don't have as much much depth right now, like I said, having the 3 center backs, it is vital to have a 4th. Now, that being said, I'd prefer, with the players that we already have, I would think it would be better to not go and play the 3 center back system than you're either playing a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2, however you want to say it, and you have your wing backs. But I would say, you know what, because of the injury, because of who we have, it's probably better off we go with a 4-man defense, and you go from there. And so then I would say that you would play Sands, and you would play Robinson, and then you'd have a Cannon or a Shaq Moore on the right side, or even, I guess it would either then be Vines, or if Cannon or Moore can play the left side. That's what I would go with now because of the injury. And then I would like to have Cade Cowell come in for multiple reasons. One, we're very weak at the winger spot, and I think he could play either at the winger spot or even the top. If you're playing a 4-3-3, he could be one of your midfielders there. But we're weak at the winger spot. I would like to see him come in and possibly get time playing there. Now, the problem is, once again, we're in the knockout rounds. you don't want to just throw somebody out there to see how the experiment's working. And so if either Kessler or Kyle come in, really it's a tough thing to do. But we've put ourselves in that position right now, and we have to go forward from it. So in that case, I would say let's choose Cade Cowell, because if we're going to have somebody coming in, I think he helps us at the winger spot, and where has inexperience as well. I'd rather it up at a winger spot than back in his center back spot right now. Let Kessler get some time in other games somewhere down the road, but not here, not for a knockout round. I don't know what kind of formation we're going to run with the player personnel that we have. I'd like to say a 4-3-3. I just don't see it fitting with what we have. I mean, I guess you could make it work, but it doesn't work that great for me. I mean, you could say go with the 4-back system. You got your 2 center backs, and then you have the 2 outside backs, which we've already talked about those 4. And then maybe you could go with your 3 midfielders, and I don't know. I just don't see it working there, because I don't think we have enough wingers right now. I don't think we have enough wingers on this roster. I think that's where we're short in the area of player personnel with this roster. And so you're almost saying, hey, we might have to somehow play with a Cade Cowell up front. However, I know Berhalter won't probably play him, and in fact he may not even pick him to be a part of the camp, and he'll bring in the depth, and we'll play a 3-back system and try to attack the way that we've been. I see that happening probably more than what I would like to see happening. I want Cade Cowell here. The second reason I want Cade Cowell, I said earlier, just because it'd bring us another winger option, but I would like him to get cap tied for us. If he can get cap tied, then we don't have to worry about him going to Mexico. But that might be part of his decision making, and whether he even joins the roster coming from the camp too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as we go in from a player personnel package. I think it's weak in that area. We don't have a lot of flexibility. Didn't help when Walker Zimmerman got hurt. He gave us a little bit more flexibility. But when he got hurt, things changed. It would have been neat to see what happened if they'd have run a 4-3-3 and maybe had a Walker Zimmerman and Anthony Robinson as your center backs, and then a Sands as your 6. But that's not going to happen anymore. We'll see what happens. As we then move into playing Jamaica, how far do I see us going? I don't know. It really comes down to, I think Jamaica is going to be a tough game for us when you look at that. It's not going to be an easy game. Should we beat Jamaica? I think we're going to, in my opinion, I think we'll scrape through. I think we can beat Jamaica. We'll come through that. And then in the semifinal, I think we'll actually probably be playing Qatar, which would be difficult for us there as well. I don't know that we're going to get to the final. I know the big thing is we'll get to the final, we can play Mexico in the final and everything like that. I don't know that we're going to get to the final. It's not going to be easy. Jamaica's going to be a tough game. It's not like we have an easy road. Jamaica will be tough. I do think Qatar will win and play when they play El Salvador on Saturday. I think they play Saturday. I'm not sure if they play Saturday or Sunday right now. I'm just thinking about it. Actually, I think they do play Sunday. But I think we'll play Qatar in the semifinal, beat Jamaica, play Qatar. I don't know that we go through that. Then we'll play Mexico. And even that, Mexico doesn't have an easy road into the final either. We see how Canada's playing. Canada can be dangerous. And so who knows if even Mexico makes it there. But I said initially, when we were first talking about the Gold Cup, that I see this being a semifinal type team. I think we'll still be able to scrape through. The Jamaica game, it's going to be tough against Qatar. I could see us winning or losing that one with the roster we have, and then going in and playing on the final. I still don't know. Well, let's just put it this way. I'm not confident at all that this team's going to win the Gold Cup. I really think Mexico's the team to beat there. Once again, I said Mexico might not even be in the final. Who knows what happens from here on out. I don't see us winning the Gold Cup. That could change depending on what happens. We'll find out what happens after number one. We'll see if we get through Jamaica first, and then we can move on and see where we're at. I'll be back next week when we talk a little bit about watching these quarterfinal games. Then we'll be talking a little bit about the semifinal games. Hopefully, the USMNT will still be in there. I'm going to call this 1-0. I think it's going to be a 1-0 game. Somehow we'll find a way to score a goal, pull it out. Maybe it'll be 19 seconds this time. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be with overtime. I don't know. We'll find out what happens. Maybe we'll go to penalty kicks. I do think we have the advantage if we go to penalty kicks. So at least over Jamaica. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we get the win. I'd love to see it happening, but everybody will be watching Sunday night. And we'll see you early next week.